An AccuWeather snow alert. Heavy snow slamming the tri-state area. In a rare move, New York City schools forced to close. Blizzard conditions in some areas making it tough to see and dangerous to be out on the road.
The roads are pretty bad. I can't believe we're actually driving out here.
And this is a live look that you're taking a look at. The snow still coming down sideways, as you can see. Good afternoon. I'm Shirlene Ellicott.
And I am David Navarro. Thank you for joining us for Eyewitness News at noon. We're going to get to meteorologist Bill Evans and our team of reporters in just a minute. But we're going to start with storm-related death and news that we've gotten so far in this storm that we're following. A doorman shoveling snow on the east side when he fell into glass, is what we're being told. 59-year-old Miguel Gonzalez sustained cuts to his neck and face and died at the hospital. We'll bring you new information as it becomes available. Meanwhile, we are at the brunt and kind of the waning end of the brunt of the storm with a blizzard warning for Long Island and much of the area experiencing near blizzard conditions.
Rockland County has declared a state of emergency. We've seen some whiteout conditions on the roads there, and there have been nearly 200 accidents since this storm started, most of them in New Jersey. Several buses have gotten stuck on slippery roads in New Jersey and New York. As you saw, 34th Street seemed to be a big trouble spot. We saw that MTA bus get stuck there.
Yeah, and this is a live look at Road Camp 7, and we're going to get to that in a second. Hopefully, we can show it to you. Road Camp 7, Route 80, northern New Jersey. Well, we're having a little trouble getting that to you, but obviously, we've got our team of reporters out and about. There you go. There's the video we wanted to show you. And you can see blacktop, which is a good sign as they continue to fight this snow as it comes down. And
the storms are also taking its toll at the airports. Taking a live look at that, you're looking at Newark Airport. This is a ground stop. There is a ground stop at Kennedy Airport because of the snow and ice. Nearly 1,800 flights have been canceled at Newark, Kennedy, and LaGuardia airports altogether. The storm has also knocked out power in some areas. There are nearly 4,000 outages in New Jersey alone and more than 300 on Long Island.
We have a team of reporters across the area covering this storm. So let's begin, though, with meteorologist Bill Evans. Bill?
Well, let's get right to the things that you probably want to know most. How much snow and when's it going to wind down? Here we go. We take a look at Times Square. You can see there's just snow everywhere here, low visibilities, and the temperature here is running pretty much close to 28, 29 degrees. Snowfall amounts. Here's what we're looking at. 8 to 12 to 12 east, 12 plus as we go coastal Connecticut on out east. We're still right in line with our forecast, because these totals are starting to mount. New Paltz, 11 inches of snow. Warwick, around 11 inches, 11.2 at New Paltz. Stony Brook, 9.5, 9 at LaGuardia. 3 inches of that came in 1 hour at LaGuardia. Pine Plains, that's in Dutchess County. 9 inches of snow there. Armonk, 7 in Westchester County. Brookfield, 10.5. You see New Canaan, Connecticut, Newtown, Danbury, all 9 and 8 in Connecticut in those totals. And here we go out across New Jersey. Wantage, 10 inches of snow. Basking Ridge, 6.5, 7. Marcella, Oakland, 6.3. These are going higher by about 2 inches per hour still. As you see that we've got some very low visibility. Still the Park reporting a 0 visibility, 0 Farmingdale, White Plains, a whiteout on Long Island from Nassau out to Suffolk County, coastal Connecticut, 0 visibility. Here's some other snow totals for you. Heavy snow, Patchogue, 7.5 inches of snow here in Suffolk County. We'll take a look. Queens Village. 8.8 inches of snow so far, and then we've been looking toward Ridgewood, 7.5, New Paltz, 11.2, as we were pointing out. Now, the back edge of the snow is here, cutting through now Morris County, Sussex County, and up here toward Orange and Sullivan County, sliding eastward to the Hudson River. This is right in line with our computer guidance and our forecast. More snow will be sliding eastward. You see the heavier amounts are going to be now Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau County, Suffolk, I should say from Suffolk, across Long Island Sound to Fairfield to New Haven. So another hour of this, and this snow will be past the city and out across Long Island and heading eastward from the Jersey Shore. So our low center, was just looking at the wind profiles, and our low center is kind of pushing on out into the Atlantic now, and it's out here. That's our nor'easter right there. You see the wind spiraling down out of the northeast as it keeps sliding out into the Atlantic. It's going to keep carrying that with it. So still the blizzard warnings till 6 o'clock tonight for Long Island, for Nassau, Suffolk County. The winter storm warning is still in effect here until 6 o'clock tonight. So these conditions will improve over the next few hours. But we're going to be seeing, these winds showing calm in the park at this hour, but still around 25, 35 miles an hour, creating zero visibilities as we go on into the evening. So heavy snow is shifting east of New York City. Blizzard conditions on Long Island through the evening. And then we're going to be looking at a widespread 8 to 14 inches of snow, lesser amounts in extreme southern New Jersey, probably maybe some higher amounts eastern Long Island. We'll talk more about that and your accurate weather forecast as we go along. David, Shirlene, back to you.
All right, Bill, you know, Mayor de Blasio has been out and about on the roads, checking the conditions, and he just held a press conference in downtown Brooklyn.
Yes, he did just hold a press conference, and we do have Dave Evans. He is there right now in that area of downtown Brooklyn live for us. Hey, Dave.
Right now, we're outside the Office of Emergency Management where the mayor had his briefing with reporters, and we learned that the salting began at 3:22 this morning, the actual plowing at 7:22, and the sanitation commissioner tells us at 10:58 this morning, at least 90% of all roads in the city had at least one plow go through. Earlier this morning, the mayor was at Ravenswood Public Housing looking at the conditions there in Long Island City. He said the streets look pretty good, but he said the problem is that this snow is coming down so hard, sometimes 2, perhaps 3 inches of snow per hour, that it's awfully hard for the plows to keep up. Once they go through, they have to go through again. But the mayor told us this morning things would be greatly improved with drivers if they would simply stay off the roads.
It is just plain common sense to not go out in that if you don't have to stay home, keep your car home, so everyone who's out there working on behalf of New Yorkers, especially our sanitation workers, can do their job. Just plain common sense. It is not a moral judgment. It's not that we've changed who we are. This is one of the toughest, most resilient cities on earth, and we've proven it 1,000 times over.
Now, last year during the big blizzard, when we got 28 inches of snow during that blizzard, a lot of neighborhoods complained in places like Corona, Jackson Heights in Queens, and also parts of Staten Island. Some of those very, very small streets where the large plows could not get through. And this went on for several days during that blizzard. So the mayor and his sanitation commissioner, they have a new effort underway in this snowstorm. They spent $21 million on some smaller plows on what's called haulsters. Those are basically large pickup trucks carrying 2 tons of salt. They are out working along with some backhoes right now, trying to work on those smaller streets right now. We asked the sanitation commissioner, so how's this new effort working?
The $21 million actually was for the purchase of what are called haulsters, which are small salt spreaders specifically designed for the small streets in Queens and in Staten Island. And then we also got additional front-end loaders to do plowing. We hadn't actually ever usually deployed them to plow ahead of a storm, but they are what ended up digging out most of Queens in the aftermath of the blizzard last year.
And the mayor today said, of course, alternate side of the street parking is suspended today, Friday, as well as Saturday. The big effort right now is for all of these plows to go through several times and to get all of these roads ready for the rush hour tomorrow morning. We'll let you know how they do. For now, reporting live in Brooklyn Heights, Dave Evans, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
All right, Dave, thank you. The mayor did say 90% of city streets have been plowed, but with the snow continuously coming down, it's definitely a lot of work ahead of them.
We want to listen to Governor Cuomo briefing reporters on the state, and let's listen in on it right now.
We are working on the audio right now. We're trying to get sound from Governor Cuomo, who is holding a briefing right now on the very latest on the storm preps going on here in New York State. Pretty much what's happening, how they're handling the whole situation.
You know, we just got briefed that I'm sorry, my producer's talking to us now. Yeah. What was that? Our producer would like to go to road cam right now and take some pictures and show you the roads as we wait for the audio problem to be fixed in terms of the governor of New York and the briefing we're getting from them. But in terms of some of the issues and stories that we've been getting, Rockland County Executive Ed Day declared a state of emergency. He declared that state of emergency due to the heavy snow and deteriorating weather conditions. And that declaration effective immediately. It bans all travel on all county and local roads, all for but essential businesses.
Yeah, let's go to Tim Fleischer. He is live in Bayside, Queens. He's at a major intersection there, Northern and Bell Boulevards. Tim, how's it looking now?
It's the conditions here have improved just ever so slightly. Again, there's a little less snow, but it's still a good strong wind, and people are starting to move around. I am seeing a little more traffic out here at this major thoroughfare here in Bayside, Queens, and right now you can still see they're pulling the plows through here as well. Let me go to some video earlier today, and the plows were out early. Remember, they start to plow as soon as they get 2 inches of accumulated snow. So they started out on the main thoroughfares first of all, and then smaller trucks here in Queens were able then to work into the side streets. People started moving around 9 o'clock, presumably going to work. That they found themselves hunkered down in bus shelters and crisscrossing the street here with their umbrellas. Bus service was limited somewhat. There was about a 20% reduction in bus service today, but again, I've talked to a couple of passengers since then, and they say that it wasn't very long of a wait, and they've been able to move around, get to work or get home in that particular case. Let me also let you hear from two people, a snowplow operator who's trying to deal with the mounting snow, and also another pedestrian.
And it's just really heavy. We're just trying to find spots to plow it out and trying to make sure that, you know, cars are able to get in and out of the lot. And just trying to find places to put it.
It's hard to get around, but I'm making it.
Are you on your way to work?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Did you think at some point that maybe you wouldn't be able to get to work?
Yeah, I thought that it would be too much, that the accumulation would be too much for me to get around in, but I'm making it.
Back live now, you can see one of the sanitation trucks down there on Northern Boulevard. It's a plow equipped, and it's still working, but you can see we're starting to see the pavement come through at this point, and they're moving a lot of that snow off to the side. Again, another thing to consider is that there's a volunteer program where you can sign up and earn some money to help clear the sidewalks, because they're going to be in need of some TLC here tomorrow and into the weekend. So that's something to consider as well. Reporting live in Bayside, Tim Fleischer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Tim, thank you. It's really good to see the roads looking a lot better than they did a little bit earlier over there in Bayside, Queens.
Yeah, you know, a little bit further east on Long Island. We told you earlier also about how the Long Island Expressway had to be closed westbound at exit 36 because of multiple accidents. We have Stacey Sager in Nassau County. Let's check in with her and get an update. Stacey.
Well, hi, Dave. Yeah, there is an update. That accident has been cleared. Earlier, the county executive mentioning that, and it was a problem. He also spoke about a jackknife tractor trailer and a multi-car crash. So really a good time to stay off the roads. We have moved a bit. We are now on South Oyster Bay Road and Old Country Road here in Plainview at this intersection, periodically seeing cars skidding out, that sort of thing. We want to go to some pictures we took just a short time ago where you can see who's in business today. I think you heard Tim mention this. The private contractors, the people who are out plowing as the snow accumulates, as the wind picks up, people are needing help. We have spoken to a few of them. Here is what one of them had to say.
Strike while the iron's hot, you know?
Well, it's definitely not hot today, though.
But it's the money maker.
How much you made so far?
We're up around $1,200.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, we'll keep going. We'll keep going.
And they were just gassing up over here at the gas station. It's a big moneymaker, as you heard him say. $1,200 really isn't bad. Some other news we want to give you an update. Earlier today, there were only 19 accidents in Nassau County. Now that number, as expected, is creeping up. 33 car accidents during the storm so far in Nassau County. Power outages just creeping up, but still not really a problem. About 17 customers, only 17 customers out power. Nearly 300 in Suffolk are out of power right now, according to PSEG. So we're keeping a close eye on all of this for you. The county executive also says you may want to call the county's non-emergency number if you're seeing things like a downed tree, problems in your neighborhood from the snow. He says you'll get a lot more attention that way than just keeping on calling 911. But we're going to keep you updated throughout the day. We're live in Plainview. I'm Stacey Sager, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Stacey, thank you for that. Let's go back live to Governor Cuomo's briefing. Other elected officials speaking on how they're preparing for this.
Our buses are equipped with chains. You'll see them out there. But we encourage our bus riders and our bus customers to use our Bus Time app, because that way they'll know where their buses are and when they're coming to their bus stop. We took, as the governor has noted, major preparation steps. We've had thousands of extra MTA staff out in our system doing everything from running snow removal machinery, sweeping, salting, making sure our stations and our platforms are in good condition for our customers, as well as being available to respond to developments as they arise. Service across our region has been proceeding without major interruptions or incidents. The railroads have experienced some sporadic delays due to snow accumulation, but nothing that is significantly affecting service at this time. As the governor notes, we are paying particular attention to Long Island. They are predicted to get heavy winds as well as the most snow, which can add up to blizzard conditions. The governor has been encouraging early release by employers, so the Long Island Railroad has been responsive to that and has already scheduled 4 additional early getaway trains leaving Penn Station as early as 1:49 p.m. Metro North, of course, has plenty of capacity in its afternoon and evening rush service. I'm encouraging all customers, no matter what mode you ride in the MTA network, to follow us at mta.info, use our apps, check our social media alerts to be aware of any service changes as we go through the afternoon and into this evening's rush hour. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Ronnie. I'm also directing any state agencies that are located on Long Island to do an early release for non-essential personnel, and that will start this afternoon. And as you heard from Ms. Hakem, the LIRR has additional getaway trains. I like the sound of that, getaway trains. So the trains will be there. But again, this is, we've been through this quite a few times, but don't underestimate the potential danger. The visibility is going to be very low. The snow is at a problematic level. And again, when there is a volume of cars on the road, the plows, the personnel can't even do their work. And all it takes is one car to get stuck, and everything backs up. And then you have a major problem. So please, every citizen of New York is part of this also. Be responsible. Be diligent. I know everything has to be done today. Sometimes it really doesn't have to be done today. And if you go out there, not only do you endanger yourself, but you endanger others. We have over 4,000 people out there who are working to keep people safe. And we don't want to make it unnecessarily difficult for them. I've been on the roads. I am telling you, the roads are dangerous. And I don't care if you have a four-wheel drive car and you think you're a superhero. They are dangerous. And many of the ramps are very, very difficult to drive. So if you don't have to be out, don't be out. Questions?
Was there ever any thought of shutting down the subways preemptively, or?
We've done that in the past. You know, these are all very tough calls, Zach. You don't want to overreact. You don't want to underreact. I tend to err on the side of caution. Why? Because we've been in situations where people could have died. Luckily, no one has as a consequence of our action. I believe there was a casualty today. Somebody had a heart attack shoveling snow. But I've been on highways in the middle of the night with people stranded in cars at 3 o'clock in the morning, where the car runs out of gasoline and they can't keep the heat on, and it gets very frightening very quickly. So I take these situations very seriously, and you listen to the weather forecast. Sometimes they change. You make the best judgment you can. Again, I err on the side of caution, but in this case, no, we did not seriously consider closing the subways. It is always a possibility. Closing subways, closing roadways is a possibility. We did do a tandem trailer ban on certain roads, 84, et cetera, more in the Hudson Valley. These are the tractor trailers that have 2 trailers on them. But we have not closed any roads. We don't anticipate closing any roads or closing the subways or closing the airports. But that is something that we always consider. The state basically is responsible for airports, buses, trains, state roads, and we're constantly weighing what to do with each of them. If the weather forecast stays as predicted and people do what they should do, I think we'll be okay.
In terms of the commuter rails, what do you know about ridership this morning compared to usual?
It's been very low. So Metro North saw basically 30% of their normal weekday ridership. Long Island Railroad similarly very low ridership at this point.
Does that help?
It does. But remember, we still run our scheduled service. So, you know, we are running trains on the rail because that also keeps the rail free and helps us assure that in the evening rush we'll have train service available for people when they need it.
Have you spoken to the mayor, and what kind of coordination you have with both your offices?
The teams have been talking all day, I believe starting yesterday, Zach. You know, we do in New York City, we are responsible for the subways, the airports, the buses. So we want to make sure that we coordinate with what the mayor is doing on the roads and more that they know what we're doing.
I know you're heading to Long Island, but if you could just recap, I know you said you're not closing roads, but has any, if you could describe what you plan on doing with the LIE, and are there any plans for, you know, closing down the LIRR, or just if you could clarify more about what's happening on Long Island?
There's no plan to close down the Long Island Railroad or the subways. At this time, they're up, they're running, the preparation was done. As I mentioned before, I thought it was done very well. So we haven't had any major delays on mass transit. The keeping people off the roads is very important. And we've had a number of incidents on the roads. In the Hudson Valley, we have quite a few people stuck on ramps, which then backs up traffic. On the Long Island Railroad, on the Long Island Expressway, we currently, as we sit here, have quite a few ramps with people stuck on them. And this is a problem. The fear is, as you get closer to rush hour and the volume increases on the roads and the visibility decreases and the snow increases, this is going to be a problematic situation. So businesses consider early release, use mass transit if you have to, or just stay off the roads. But we know, as it is now, it is problematic. There are many, many on and off ramps on the LIE where cars are stuck right now. And we're deploying tow trucks, etc. But this just cascades. One car gets stuck, that backs up 15 cars, and then the tow truck can't get through, the plow can't get through, and you have a major situation. And they are now developing. And the only way to safeguard it is keeping people off the roads. You know, there are, people think, you know, they're great drivers, and I'm sure they are, and they have great vehicles. It doesn't matter, you know. Once the snow turns to ice or the slush turns to ice and you try going up a hill and you get stuck, that's it. That is it. And you can sit there for hours, and you can cause major obstacles for a lot of people. So that's the fear. If it is, I'm going to now look at the roads on my way out to Long Island. If it is more than I discussed, or if it's getting worse, then we'll take more action. On the question from Zach before, you know, this is, you calibrate this as you go through the day, and you adjust your actions to the conditions. You go with the weather forecast, but sometimes that changes. I want to be careful what I say, because one storm, what I said was viewed as critical of the weather forecast, and I was bombarded by weather people from across the country. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. But you look at the actual conditions, and then you adjust your reaction to the actual conditions. And if it gets worse, we'll take more action. Okay? Thank you very much.
You have been listening to Governor Cuomo briefing reporters on the latest in terms of this snowstorm, and the big headline is he wanted to get out this: don't underestimate the potential danger of the storm. He had the MTA chief, Ronnie Haycom, come up and address reporters, basically saying that service without many interruptions right now, although there are some issues that they're looking at, particularly in Long Island, which is a hot spot, as they're looking at potential blizzard conditions there. They're going to add 4 extra Long Island Railroad trains because they're really encouraging everyone to go home early if you can, and just give the people who are working on getting the snow out there a break, and also for your own safety.
They're calling them getaway trains.
Yes.
Actually. And they're leaving as early as 1:49 p.m. for people. Let's go live now to Marcus Solis. He is live in Nanuet. Marcus?
Shirley and Dave, we have seen a change in the weather here. Snow flurries for sure, but the accumulating snow appears to be over, and that is, you can see the difference already, the effect it's having on Route 59, which is a state road where we are seeing for the first time blacktop and cars able to cross it pretty easily. Nevertheless, just down the road, there is an accident, and police, you'll see the police cars, the flashing lights down there. Roadways are by no means in good shape, and that happened well before. There is a travel ban in effect in Rockland County. The county executive that day declared a state of emergency, which prohibits non-essential travel. The goal is to get those roads cleared, have people off of them so that the snowplow operators can do their work and get the roads clear. Schools have been closed. Mass transit here has been suspended. Bus travel is suspended in Rockland County, as it is in Westchester County. And the question now becomes, as Mayor de Blasio referred to, will the temptation be too great now for people to start coming out now that it appears that the weather is starting to improve, at least where we are? We're not seeing that heavy driving snow anymore. And so will people start to venture out? Will people start to try and, run some errands? The stores in this area are not open, and it is not definitely business as usual yet. So the travel ban remains in effect. Rockland County under a state of emergency, but the snow here, the heavy snowfall that we saw throughout the morning, has definitely lightened up. Guys?
It's good to see the conditions getting a little bit better. Let's see what the conditions are like on the roadways. Heather O'Rourke joining us. Heather, I know we've had a lot of accidents.
Yes, and Shirlene and David, you can see from this picture at Road Cam 7 that there are some areas that are still kind of messy. I mean, you can see some blacktop there. But let's go over to a webcam if we can. I want to show you how things are looking on Long Island, because Governor Cuomo was saying he was going out to check out Long Island. And this is a look at the LIE right near Washington Avenue, and the LIE at the Sagged Coast Parkway is a mess. And then as you use the Northern State Parkway getting into Vets Highway, the roadway is barely visible. So let's go over to some maps. We'll talk about what's going on as you go onto the Bronx River Parkway. That is shut down. We do have an accident that's being cleared away on the Bronx River Parkway northbound at exit 22. And then you have a problem over here with a closure on 287 north, exit 59 up to 66. Multiple jackknife tractor trailers. So all lanes are closed down there as well. And you heard that street cleaning rules are suspended for tomorrow and Saturday. So that's the good news. You can leave your car where it is, but make sure you get all of that snow off of your car so it doesn't just freeze. Shirlene and David, over to you.
Oh, great advice. We've been asking our viewers to share their picture at ABC7NY, and we've been getting a wide scope of things, from the fun to the serious, and showing a lot of people sharing their snow accumulations. That's really helping everyone here in terms of the meteorology and covering this this particular storm.
Umbrella's not so effective.
Right.
That picture up there shows dog's pretty cute out there in the snow. Keep these pictures coming for us as you brave the snow for the rest of the day.
All right. Stay right here as we monitor the storm. Bill will be back in a few minutes with the latest AccuWeather forecast. You can always get updates anytime with our free ABC7NY app. We'll be right back.
This Eyewitness News AccuWeather report is brought to you by Winthrop University Hospital, home of the country's #1 CyberKnife prostate cancer treatment program, now in Manhattan and Long Island.
Prostate cancer patients and CyberKnife teams from around the world come to Winthrop for our experience. There are a lot of competing claims out there. I encourage every patient, wherever you go, ask for the data. In my experience, CyberKnife has revolutionized prostate cancer treatment. With CyberKnife, there's no pain, there's no incontinence, there's less evidence. It's just a better treatment.
Trust Winthrop's CyberKnife experience. Call 1-866-WINTHROP or go to winthrop.org.
With so many people making my nice list last year, Grandma Doris, little Marcus, Uncle Andre, my holiday credit card spending was, well, I was a little naughty. So I added Columbia Bank to my list.
No matter what you did over the holidays, a home equity line of credit from Columbia Bank can cover the costs that made all those special holiday moments happen. You're ready for it all.
For a fresh financial start, I see Columbia Bank.
Hello? Yeah, a new friend's coming here to Sesame Street.
If you're looking for friends...
Hi, everybody.
Cookie! All new. It's Sesame Street Live. Make a new friend.
Hello, everybody.
No matter where you're from or where you've been.
Playing the theater at Madison Square Garden February 16th through 26th. Tickets on sale now through Ticketmaster.
New Jerseyans with drug addiction deserve a second chance. New Jersey is making it easier to find treatment. Introducing 1-844-REACH-NJ and reachnj.gov. One number, one website, a clear path to help. Reach out and help the many lives affected by this awful disease. Don't suffer. Don't wait. Help is within reach.
We are in the middle of an AccuWeather snow alert. The heaviest snowfall of a nor'easter is falling right now across the tri-state area.
In New York City, a winter storm warning remains in effect for the 5 boroughs until 6 p.m. Mayor Bill de Blasio says parts of the city could see up to 14 inches before the storm tapers off later this afternoon.
Sanitation crews are out in full force. They're working hard trying to clear out the streets, but many buses have gotten stuck, like this articulated MTA bus in Midtown. Alternate side parking regulations are suspended tomorrow and Saturday due to snow operations. City Hall urging drivers to stay off the roads.
It is just plain common sense to not go out in that if you don't have to stay home, keep your car home, so everyone who's out there working on behalf of New Yorkers, especially our sanitation workers, can do their job.
And on Long Island, heavy snow and whiteout conditions making driving extremely dangerous there as well. A blizzard warning in effect for Nassau and Suffolk counties through 6 p.m.
And right now, the Garden State look more like an Arctic tundra. New Jersey Transit employing jet engine-powered snowblowers to remove snow and ice from tracks and critical switching areas. And good afternoon. I'm Shirley Nallicott.
I'm David Navarro. From New York City to Long Island to New Jersey and the northern suburbs, we have team coverage of this powerful snowstorm. But we're going to begin with meteorologist Bill Evans. He has the very latest on the AccuWeather forecast. Bill.
Well, here we go. We take a look at from our camera right here in Brooklyn, across the Brooklyn Bridge here, the East River, and not the greatest of visibility. Still, visibilities are very low here at noontime. Here is our temperature. We're into the 20s, and we still see the winds making it feel more like the teens and single digits here at noontime. So about 28 is our temperature. We're looking at that wind out of the northwest at 20. Our forecasts are still in line for 12 to 14 inches locally snowfall here, to higher amounts, 12 plus Connecticut and on out toward the eastern and Long Island. Here's some reports so far. Heavy snow in Queens. We're looking at 9.2 inches of snow there. Also around Queens Village. Queens Village right there. We're looking at 12 to 13 inches of snow in parts up the Hudson River Valley. Right around Langrenville. Right around 9 inches of snow. We've been looking across even into areas like Harrison, 5.2, right around Ridgewood and right there in northern Jersey, about 7.5. White Plains has got 8.5 so far. Milford, you get on up in here into Connecticut and head north from Bridgeport to Milford in that area. You're looking at 12 around Newtown. Right here, you go through Fairfield County. And even in Cedar Grove, we're looking over here toward Jersey, about 7 inches. In Hauppauge, 10 inches of snow. So the back edge is here in western New Jersey. It'll start clearing out here a bit. And as the snow gets to the Hudson River Valley by 1, it's looking about like 2, Nassau, Suffolk, Fairfield County, and about 3, 4 o'clock on out toward the eastern end. Still some snow to go, and there's some spots where it has been moderate to heavy. Still a line of snow pretty heavy there along 80 right here in right Morris County, and that's Passaic County. And then you got some heavier downpours of snow here throughout Westchester County that is sliding eastward. So down toward Monmouth and Ocean County, it's still snowing there and down the Garden State Parkway. Our low is out in the Atlantic. This is our nor'easter, and you can see the wind profiles around that. It will continue to funnel in that cold air. We had lightning strikes, thunder snow. You see here across the Twin Forks, Shelter Island, Gardner's Island here, the northern branch here, out toward Fisher's Island, even all the way out just to the north of Block. And there have been those lightning strikes with the thunder snow we were talking about. So slowly, our nor'easter keeps moving out into the Atlantic, keeps pulling down this cold air where it's 28, the humidity at 92%, the pressure falling. So very windy with heavy snow continuing east of New York City. Blizzard conditions on Long Island through the evening. And then we're going to have about an 8 to 14-inch snow total, less in southern Jersey. 28 on Staten Island at Eltonville, 29 Smithtown, so all the numbers are below freezing. And it will only get colder with the temperatures we go into tonight. That's why we say you need to plow and shovel because of the hard freeze. Here are the wind gusts. JFK, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, 47 at Montauk with our storm going out to sea, and 33 to 36 down the Jersey Shore. So the wind chills are in the teens. JFK, 11. 14 at Sussex, 5 toward Monticello. Our futurecast is showing the snow sliding eastward, and then tonight temperatures in the 20s to the teens overnight. And then tomorrow, we're not going to get above the freezing mark, as you see. And then tomorrow night, a clipper's going to go by with a few flakes or a few periods of snow Friday night into Saturday. So we actually might see a break of sun by 4 o'clock. And then we'll see the cold air just pouring in tomorrow. We'll see sunshine tomorrow, but look at your wind chill for tomorrow morning. Single digits and below. We'll talk more about the cold air for tomorrow. You got to really shovel and plow. And I know, David, you're working on that right now at your place.
I have a strategy.
Back to you, Shirley.
When he gets home.
It involves a village.
He certainly does. As we've been telling you, Long Island, hardest hit area, especially Suffolk County. I believe they did issue a state of emergency out there. And we do have Kristen Thorne. She is live in Dix Hills for us, and Governor Cuomo, he's heading to Long Island to see the road conditions himself. Kristen.
He is. He will be out here at 2 o'clock here at the rest stop here, just off the LIE around exit 5051 here in Dix Hill. So, yeah, he is going to head out here, and he's already mentioned it. The roads are bad. He's going to see the same thing coming out here. I want to show you the LIE here so you get a sense of what we're looking at. You know, it's bad. Is this the worst storm we've ever had? No, absolutely not. In fact, I've covered worse than this. But when you see the LIE with these sort of conditions, it is concerning and not something you want to come out in if you do not have to. So the road conditions are really dangerous. Case in point, look at this video from earlier this morning. Mount Sinai, North Ocean Avenue, a collision between a box truck and an SUV flipped over there. Thankfully, everyone's okay. One of the drivers was able to crawl out, but you're going to see EMS crews. They are basically flipping the truck back onto its side to get it out of the way. They got to get that road plowed. They can't have it like that. Got to get it out of there. So road conditions right now, it's just bad. It's just really bad. We showed you the LIE, so you can only imagine what your neighborhood roads are going to be like. We're going to see some of the highest totals with this storm in Suffolk County. For some reason, it always seems to go that way. So, yeah, Suffolk County, again, is going to get hit the hardest by the storm. We did hear from Suffolk County officials earlier on this morning. They want people to take this storm seriously.
Stay off the roads. It's that simple. If you're able to stay off the roads, that is the best course of action. If you are on the roads, please drive with extra caution. Reduce speeds. Make sure you have safe distances between you and other motorists.
Yeah, and another thing is if you do have to go out, turn your lights on. I cannot tell you how many people are driving in these whiteout conditions with no lights on. You can't do that because no one can see you coming. Let's give you another live look here at the LIE before we leave you here. I just want everyone to see what's going on. I mean, you can probably see that wind just whipping around. And again, whiteout conditions. Turn your lights on. People cannot see you coming. I almost had an accident this morning. I was trying to make a left. This guy, I couldn't even see him. Thankfully, we both were going slowly, and we avoided that. Snow totals over here. Let me show you. Let me see. Where can I go? Where can I go? You okay, Joe? I don't know. You know, it's This is it's dense snow. It's just really, really wet and miserable out here. And again, we do expect the governor to be out here at 2 o'clock at the rest stop here, and we will of course, bring you everything that he says. For now, we're live in Dix Hills. I'm Kristen Thorne, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Kristen, thank you. Definitely whiteout conditions there.
Yeah, you can see in the camera lens, and back to a shot from our road cam 7 as we continue to track the roads. Really good to see blacktop, obviously. You know, in New York City earlier, Mayor de Blasio briefed reporters saying that, sadly, 1 death to report so far. However, they do think that New York City schools will open tomorrow. There's a ground stop at JFK, but in general, 90% of the city streets, the mayor says, is plowed. Dave Evans, our reporter in downtown Brooklyn, covered it for us there. Let's check in with Dave and get any update we can from him. Dave, how are you doing?
David, we're right outside the Office of Emergency Management where the mayor briefed us earlier today, and we are right on the line of downtown Brooklyn and Brooklyn Heights. And I have to tell you, in this part of Brooklyn, the snow is still coming down, but it's a heck of a lot lighter than it was earlier today, so that is the good news. The mayor, at his briefing this morning, told us that he made the decision to close public schools at about 5:30 yesterday afternoon, not because of the amount of the snowfall. We do expect anywhere from 10 to 14 inches in the city, he said, but because of the timing of this, at the worst of the snow coming down during rush hour when the kids were trying to get to school. So he made that decision last night at 5:30. So this morning, he was out in certain neighborhoods looking to see how the plowing is going so far. He was at the Ravenswood Public Housing in Long Island City, meeting with residents there, also the local city council member there, Jimmy Van Bramer. I talked with him actually just a couple of minutes ago. He said he is now on his way to Staten Island. He will be meeting with residents on Staten Island to see how the plowing is going there. The problem has been the intensity of this storm. He said in his briefing 2 to 3 inches of snow per hour. So even though 90% of all city streets have seen a plow go through at least once, as of 10:58 this morning, the snow just keeps coming down, and so the plows have to go again and again. He said the best advice to all the drivers, please help out everyone and stay off the streets.
We need the people to get off the streets. So look, I can't emphasize this enough. Don't drive your car today. It's real simple. We need you off the streets. Again, I understand sometimes people have no choice. But if you do have a choice, don't drive your car. It's very tough conditions out there. It's very hard to get around.
Now, there is a new plowing effort underway this winter. That's because last year during the blizzard, when we got 28 inches of snow, several neighborhoods had snow packed on their streets for several days, and they were angry about that. So what the mayor has done is he earmarked $21 million for some smaller snow removing equipment that can get through those very small streets in neighborhoods such as Corona, Jackson Heights, and also in parts of Staten Island. Today, front-end loaders were at work, 9 of them. Also, what's called haulsters. Those are basically large pickup trucks carrying 2 tons of salt. They were out working this morning. We talked to the Sanitation Commissioner, Catherine Garcia. She said that it seems to be working pretty well on some of those smaller streets. We're going to be going out there this afternoon, and we will keep you posted on what it looks like so far. For now, reporting live in Brooklyn Heights, Dave Evans, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, let's go back out to the roads. 287, this is over in Franklin Lakes. We've got Anthony Johnson. He is live in Road Cam 7. How's it looking, Anthony?
Well, this is where the split is, where 208 and 287. Now, we did ride on 287 a little bit earlier. Conditions were pretty treacherous, but now they've shut down 287 going northbound from the split. That's why you see all of these tractor trailers moving this way. They would normally be trying to head northbound on 287. Now they're just actually lining up on the side of the roadway here, waiting so they can go in that direction. Once again, there's a massive cleanup effort. Now you're looking right at 208. This is the beginning of 208. You can see that road conditions here are improving very rapidly. You can see the blacktop, and these folks have been out here since very, very early this morning. But this detour, creating quite a lot of confusion and probably a lot of consternation for these truck drivers who were waiting to go 287 northbound. I'm not quite sure if all of those trucks can go down 208. And on the other side, you can see that there was an accident. Now, this is another problem that we see here in Road Cam 7. You can see emergency crews are out here on the scene. This truck, this tractor trailer truck, apparently stopped. We don't know if it just came to a stop because of
trouble with an accident. It didn't look like a jackknife, but certainly there was a trouble situation right here at this exit. You can see all the emergency crews, and this is going to back up traffic. So once again, all of this traffic being backed up because 287 right at exit 59 is shut down. The crews are out there. They've been cleaning up conditions a little bit earlier. We did drive on there about an hour and a half ago. They weren't very good at that point in time. Not a lot of traffic out there. Conditions weren't good, but obviously they're out here trying to go ahead and deal with the roads here. But this is causing quite a problem for a lot of these truck drivers. Luckily, not a lot of other traffic out here, just the truckers at this point in time. Most of the traffic, most people deciding to stay home today, and that's the advice that a lot of people have been giving all day long since yesterday, and that's helping with the road cleanup efforts as we move down on 208. You can see a couple of other tractor trailers. They were going to probably try to get on 287, but they've kind of stopped for a little bit, waiting for this cleanup effort to continue. Obviously, we're going to continue to have these situations crop up and pop up all around. We had a lot of accidents, particularly when the storm was at its height earlier today throughout the state of New Jersey. The intensity of the storm has passed through this area. Once again, that's why you can see the blacktop. These crews have been out here doing a lot of work. We've seen convoys of crews cleaning up the roadways, and they've been very successful getting it down to the blacktop. But one of the reasons they've been able to do that because there's so few cars on the road. You did see just a few seconds ago a truck just passed by, a tow truck, and it looked like it had a Jeep on top of it. So like we said, there have been plenty of accidents, and we are watching and looking out for it. We look like we have another situation right in front of us, getting ready to come up on this one here on 208. You just want to go around TC. Let's see what's going on here. We're going to try to take a quick look to see what's happening. A number of trucks, tractor trailer trucks, are pulled over to the side. We may have to just take a quick look to see what happened over here. This exit, it looks like it's a very tricky exit. Some people may have been trying to get off there, but these trucks are just pulled off to the side. And it just looks like the exit is a bad exit. It's hard to get off of for those tractor trailers, so they just decided to pull off and slow down. So all kinds of tricky conditions. Those are the things that you will have to watch out for. Make sure you slow down. Don't travel too fast because you can come up on one of those kind of situations in a matter of moments. So, ladies, we're on 208. From what you can see, it's clear. Still a lot of tricky roadways out here, so do be careful. Back to you.
I want to say thank you, Anthony, for all the ladies that are here. Appreciate that. Stay safe on the road, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. And you know what? Let this image here be a cautionary tale to stay off the roads. All those tractor trailers pull over to the side because they're having trouble trying to get onto 287. Stay off the roads like many, many people have listened to in New Jersey, which is a good thing.
It's great to see it in real time. And now, from that picture, we want to go back to New York City. You know, Mayor de Blasio was saying that about 90% of the city streets are plowed. But if you remember, in last year's crippling snowstorm, many people in the boroughs were complaining that their communities were not getting taken care of. Well, we got Tim Fleischer in Bayside, Queens. Let's check in with Tim and find out how the roads are looking there today. Tim.
And Dave, remember earlier I had Dave the plow guy on. He was talking about how difficult it was to plow these lots. Well, look what he's now making a good deal of headway here. We've been watching him over the last half hour or so. Now he's taken to the sidewalk here and making a path so that people can pass on through. He's been pretty successful at it. He's got a couple of big, large piles of snow that he's been knocking down as well. So he's been making a lot of headway with it. And that's just what's going to happen over the next couple of days, because people are going to have to get to these lots. They're going to have to get to the sidewalks, especially in the outer boroughs. So they've been able to make some pretty good headway. Now you can see the streets as well. They're now starting to. The pavement is starting to show through. This is Northern Boulevard at Bell Boulevard. That's a major intersection. The plows here have actually been pretty thorough. They've been through here on a consistent basis, sometimes 2 and 3 of them kind of working in tandem, coming down through here to keep things open. Let me show you some video from earlier today. Again, the minute 2 inches of snow fell, that's when the plows go out. So they started hitting the major thoroughfares and then also the smaller trucks, especially here in Queens, where they've had some issues in the past. they were able to get into the smaller side streets as well. People were moving around a little bit this morning, probably presumably going to work. A few of them, not many, that's for sure. And we're braving the worst of this snow. It was coming down sideways for a long period of time this morning, making just movement. Getting to a bus stop was even very difficult. And again, the buses were running. Let me also tell you that that there were 20% reduction in the number of buses, but I've talked to a couple of riders and they say it really didn't hurt them at all. They were able to get to where they needed to go. Let me also let you hear from Dave the plow guy how difficult it was, and also another commuter this morning.
It's just really heavy. We're just trying to find spots to plow it out and trying to make sure that, you know, cars are able to get in and out of the lot. And just trying to find places to put it.
It's hard to get around, but I'm making it.
Are you on your way to work?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Did you think at some point that maybe you wouldn't be able to get to work?
Yeah, I thought that it would be too much, that the accumulation would be too much for me to get around in, but I'm making it.
And they're making good progress, too, in being able to clean this up. Reporting live in Bayside, Tim Fleischer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks a lot.
Not the worst storm we've seen, but definitely dangerous out there as we take a look at Road Cam 7 as it continues to drive along the roadways. We want to go to Long Island now. We want to go to Plainview, Nassau County. Stacey Sager is there with an update for us. Stacey?
Well, you know, pretty rough conditions still out here in Nassau County. We are on South Oyster Bay Road, an old country road where, you know, we're at the intersection here. The cars stop for the intersection periodically, and we start to see them skid out as they pull off. If you don't have four-wheel drive, it's really a problem. We've definitely seen, you know, a lot of the nice buses running. They're definitely not running as scheduled, but they're running. We've seen a lot of plow truck operators, as you heard Tim mention. They're using this as a real business opportunity. But visibility is just still terrible. The snow is still coming down. We want to show you these pictures we took a little while ago. Again, these private plow truck operators filling up gas, the wind just gusting. You know, the county executive, Ed Mangano, he weighed in earlier on all the conditions out here today.
Obviously, we went from beach day to blizzard day here in the county, and we're certainly out there battling the blizzard. You know, certainly road conditions are a concern, blizzard-like conditions, visibility conditions. We do want to remind our residents, if you have a non-life-threatening emergency, please utilize the non-emergency hotline. That's 1-800-315-5153. The non-emergency hotline keeps the 911 system obviously open for real, true life-threatening emergencies. We ask our residents to do that.
And we're back here live now. We want to point out, you know, the number of car accidents in Nassau County has just about doubled at this point since the storm started. Still not a ton of accidents, none of them too serious. But, you know, we started out the day with 9 accidents, then it was 19 accidents. Now it's 33 or more accidents. Some of them were multiple car accidents. You heard the governor mention on the Long Island Expressway. Earlier today, parts of the Long Island Expressway were shut down. So far, they have kept the Long Island Expressway open throughout this blizzard. Unlike the last major blizzard when it was shut down. That's a call the governor has to make. He is making his way out to Long Island, and of course we're going to have the latest on that for you. Power outages still at a minimum, only about 20 or so in Nassau County, about 300 or so in Suffolk County, and we'll keep you up to date on that throughout the afternoon. For now, we're live in Plainview. I'm Stacey Sager, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Stacey, thank you.
We've got the entire tri-state area cover. Governor of Connecticut just gave another update moments ago, and he says dozens of accidents have been reported throughout the state today there.
Yeah, he has this warning for drivers.
If you do not need to travel today, we ask you to stay off the streets until we can get everything cleaned up on a local and a state basis. For those who need to travel, remember your winter driving skills. Drive at a reasonable rate of speed, leaving as much room between you and the next car as possible. That's particularly true on hills where you know you're going down and could otherwise be apt to slip. The Department of Transportation.
Always good advice. You know, the heavy snow, strong winds from this this major winter storm affecting everything from travel to schools. We're still under a blizzard warning effect until 6 p.m. for Long Island. But just to give you a sense of hope, just to show you there's another side to this story, somewhere in the country,
yes,
we present you
Daytona
this.
Beach, Florida, to be exact, David. We are not there right now.
In my mind, I'm there. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm right there on the beach.
They're dealing with some serious conditions out there. Sunshine. Oh, there's a little wind. There's a little wind.
Okay. If you say so.
There's some waves.
We wanted to give you the... it's just a bad reminder of what we're dealing with.
She said that was a little cruel.
Yeah, stick with us. We'll be right back.
Photos on Channel 7 are sponsored by the New York Lottery.
This Eyewitness News AccuWeather report is brought to you by Winthrop University Hospital, home of the country's #1 CyberKnife prostate cancer treatment program, now in Manhattan and Long Island.
Prostate cancer patients and CyberKnife teams from around the world come to Winthrop for our experience. There are a lot of competing claims out there. I encourage every patient, wherever you go, ask for the data. In my experience, CyberKnife has revolutionized prostate cancer treatment. With CyberKnife, there's no pain, there's no incontinence, there's less evidence. It's just a better treatment.
Trust Winthrop's CyberKnife experience. Call 1-866-WINTHROP or go to winthrop.org.
With so many people making my nice list last year, Grandma Doris, little Marcus, Uncle Andre, my holiday credit card spending was, well, I was a little naughty. So, I added Columbia Bank to my list.
No matter what you did over the holidays, a home equity line of credit from Columbia Bank can cover the costs that made all those special holiday moments happen. You're ready for it all.
For a fresh financial start, I see Columbia Bank.
Hello? Yeah, a new friend's coming here to Sesame Street.
If you're looking for friends...
Hi, everybody.
Cookie! All new. It's Sesame Street Live. Make a new friend.
Hello, everybody.
No matter where you're from or where you've been.
Playing the theater at Madison Square Garden February 16 through 26. Tickets on sale now through Ticketmaster.
New Jerseyans with drug addiction deserve a second chance. New Jersey is making it easier to find treatment. Introducing 1-844-REACH-NJ and reachnj.gov. One number, one website, a clear path to help. Reach out and help the many lives affected by this awful disease. Don't suffer. Don't wait. Help is within reach.
Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day.
And we continue our coverage of this weekday snowstorm hitting the tri-state area. We still see some snow coming down, but apparently it's starting to taper off.
Yeah, you'll see the hardest, though, when you go to our reporters out on Long Island.
Yes.
The marked difference between New York City reporters and Long Island reporters. We're giving Bill Evans a little break. We're bringing in Jeff Smith right now to give us an update on this weather and how it's changing. Jeff, what's the latest?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, fairly short duration storm here in New York City. It is starting to taper off, but for the lack of duration, it made up for that in intensity, with snowfall rates at times up to 3 inches per hour. Temperature right now down to 28 degrees, so any wet spots or slushy spots on the roadways definitely freezing up, and that will be the case right through tonight. The visibility has improved a little bit as we look over toward lower Manhattan. Check out some of these snow totals in New York State. New Paltz, 11.2 inches. Warwick and Orange County, about 11 inches. On Long Island, Stony Brook checking in with 9.5. We've gotten some more recent reports from Long Island, though. Comac getting a foot so far, and you're still going pretty strong on the island for the next several hours. Brookfield, Connecticut, over 10 inches of snow. We're looking at 9.5 inches in Bethel, New Canaan, about 9 inches. Same deal with Newtown, Danbury, and Fairfield, Connecticut, about 8 inches of snow. And in New Jersey, Highland Lakes and Sussex County, over 11 inches. Marcella, Morris County, about 7 inches. Oakland, as you head into western parts of Bergen County, 6.3. Basking Ridge, about 6.5. So this storm has behaved pretty well. And we haven't had to really change this snowfall forecast map that much. 8 to 12 inches across the core of our area. Locally higher amounts. We've had some higher amounts even sprinkled up through parts of the mid and lower Hudson Valley. But a pretty good swath, I think, of a foot or more, basically covering all of Suffolk County, also extreme southeastern parts of Fairfield County, Connecticut, and that swath extends into southeastern parts of New England as well. Look at the wind out there, coming in mainly from the north and northwest now, and that's actually going to be causing that snow band to kind of collapse off to the east. And look at the winds right now, 35 miles per hour sustained at Islip. So there very well could be blizzard conditions occurring on Long Island. To get blizzard conditions, you need sustained winds or frequent gusts of 35 or higher for 3 consecutive hours, along with that heavy snow reducing visibility. Again, temperatures down into the 20s, even some upper teens north and west. We have that blizzard warning in effect until 6 p.m. for Suffolk County and Nassau County, basically all of Long Island, and then a winter storm warning for the rest of the area until 4 p.m. for, say, the Jersey Shores, until 6 p.m. for New York City, northern New Jersey, and also the lower Hudson Valley. Check out the radar picture right now. So, yeah, the back edge of the heaviest snow has definitely shifted off to the east, but you see a little bit of light snow kind of filling in over New York City. So we can continue kind of flaking until 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, probably not accumulating much. But these snowflakes extend back to, say, central parts of Morris County in New Jersey. Again, by far the heaviest snowfall is still over, say, parts of Nassau County, western parts of Suffolk County, getting in a pretty good band right there. And look at this starting to refire here from southern Westchester down through parts of Queens and Brooklyn. But by far, it's eastern Long Island getting the heaviest of the snow, which could still be on the order of 2 to 3 inches per hour, that band extending from eastern Long Island up into parts of New England. Check out some of these damage reports that we've actually gotten. Southhold, trees and wires down due to the wind and the weight of the snow out there. Tree and wire down on a building there. Just got this report in at 12:45 p.m. Comac in Suffolk County, a foot of snow. So that's why we're going for at least a foot in Suffolk County, because you still got a few more hours of snow left there. Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, about 10 inches of snow there. So in and around New York City, closing in on double-digit snowfall amounts. Middletown and Orange County, about 11 inches there. Check out our high-resolution futurecast through the early to middle part of the afternoon. So basically in 15 minutes, 1:15, you see the back edge of the snowfall. This is capturing it pretty well over central parts of New Jersey, right over central Morris County. You're getting the heaviest snow by far, eastern half of Long Island. As we head towards, say, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it still could be flaking in and around New York City, just some very light, non-accumulating snow. I think you're still getting accumulating snow at that point over Suffolk County on the island, and the wind will not be slackening off during the afternoon at all. In fact, it may peak out around 2 or 3 o'clock onto eastern Long Island, so that's where you may actually get your blizzard conditions verified in that area. You see by 6:15 this evening, so right around dinner time, no snow in and around the city into western Long Island, maybe still some light snow, non-accumulating snow going on off to the east. Futurecast wind gusts showing that wind shifting more into a westerly direction. That will push all these snow bands offshore. So again, recapping, it's a general 8 to 12 inch snowfall. It's starting to wind down, especially from New York City and points west. Again, a foot or more likely when it's all said and done. You've already gotten a foot in some spots onto eastern Long Island. So be careful out there. Stay in if you can. Follow the recommendations of your local and state officials. Bill and Liz, back over to you.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much, and good afternoon once again to you. I'm Liz Cho, along with Bill Ritter. We are taking over for David Navarro and Charlene Allicott. And as Jeff just said, snow, it's winding down here in New York City and points west. A good situation as we continue to bring you live coverage of this snowstorm here in our area.
But as Jeff also said, we're getting the worst of it. They're getting the worst of it on the east end of Long Island. Just looking at a text sent out by the town of Southampton, the supervisor out there, Jay Schneiderman, declaring a state of emergency as of 12 noon and lasting through the afternoon into the early evening, as you saw with Jeff. And this is, in fact, is that Nassau Police or Suffolk County Police? I can't. Wipe your snow off there. I can't
quite
see it.
read it.
But anyway, that is somewhere on Long I'm sorry.
That's in New Jersey,
It's neither Suffolk or Nassau. It's in New Jersey. And as you see, the roads are slippery. Looks like an accident up there and some sort of truck blocking the road there. Lots of accidents in the afternoon, in the morning and into the afternoon here in New Jersey and Connecticut. Just stay off the roads still if you don't have to until we can get all this
For the first time now, at this point in the day, we are really starting to see blacktop on a lot of these roads. The worry now is the temperature is going to start start to drop. And there is going to be a quick refreezing of all of that slushy snow that still remains.
As you see there, 28 degrees, so that's what it means. Yesterday, all day and all night, Lee Goldberg was talking about how the real problem is going to be the icing tonight and tomorrow morning, and if you don't get the snow off your stoop and off your steps and off your sidewalks, you're going to be dealing with shoveling ice later today and tomorrow.
Yeah, we want to go ahead and check in with Marcus Solis. He's in Inuit. Marcus, last time we checked in with you, we're really not seeing blacktop quite yet in your area, but it does seem like the snow is slightly winding down.
For sure, Liz, we're one of those points west of the city, and so for the last hour or so, that heavy driving, accumulating snow is pretty much done. I mean, we were seeing those 2 to 3 inch an hour rates in the early part of the morning, but now it is just kind of blowing around snowflakes. And there is a little bit of blacktop here on Route 59. Certainly not all 3 lanes of travel, but the most heavily traveled one, the left lane there, is down to the blacktop. We have seen plows coming by regularly, and imagine that it will just continue to improve as the afternoon goes on and the snow shuts down. However, it is not entirely it does not mean that it's entirely smooth sailing. It is still treacherous. You see a car making an illegal U-turn there, and he slid out a little bit. There was an accident on Route 59 earlier, and at the height of it, we saw buses and cars struggling to get up a hill about a quarter mile or so up the road here. It's a slight incline, and it was definitely made for some treacherous travel, and that is why the Rockland County Executive has issued a state of emergency, remains in effect, because they do want to keep these roads free of vehicles so that the plow operators can get their job done. Non-essential travel is prohibited. There isn't even mass transit at this point. Rockland, the Tappan Zee Express and the Transport of Rockland, those bus services have been suspended as the wind picks up. And bus travel in Westchester County has also been suspended until conditions improve and until the roadways improve. And you've heard about it. They're urging people to still stay off the road, even once the weather improves, because that is the time that the crews can get the most work done, because it's not going to be reaccumulating at that point. They can get the bulk of the snow removed. And so it is important that even after the weather improves, people stay off the roads, give those crews a chance to operate. And we should mention that this is one lane of travel that's in good shape on a state road, on a busy road, on a more traveled road. Certainly the secondary roads, the side streets, those are going to be much more messy, sloppy, and treacherous. Guys?
Treacherous, Marcus, because it's going to freeze over. Marcus Solis in Nanuet. We want to go now from Rockland County over to Staten Island, where Josh Einiger, all bundled up in a different version of Road Cab 7. He's in the Graniteville section of that borough, and you're all bundled up. What's it like outside, Josh?
Yeah, well, Bill, I'm going to switch you over to the front camera so we can show you what's going on here on the roads. We're basically on the service road, blacktop. Yeah, they're doing a great job here on Staten Island, as you can see here. I think we're about to get on to the Staten Island Expressway, so we're going to show you really what the expressway looks like. I'm sort of assuming it's going to look like this or better, since it looks like this where we are now. Not a lot of traffic, as you can see, as we pull onto the Staten Island Expressway. We're now heading eastbound towards the Verrazano Bridge. We're in the Graniteville section of Staten Island right now. And as you can see, people really are heeding the advice of the mayor and other city officials to stay off the roads. I mean, the DOT has done an amazing job on those side streets and, of course, up here on the Staten Island Expressway as well. You know, about 6 to 8 inches from what I could have tell when we got into the truck a little while ago to drive around, and we're going to keep checking out the conditions here on Staten Island, where we are live this afternoon. Josh Einiger, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Bill?
Hey, Josh, one quick question for you. I know that you're on the Staten Island Expressway right now. Earlier today, when we heard Mayor de Blasio talking, as well as the commissioner of the city sanitation department, they were kind of touting these smaller vehicles that they said that they're using on some of the smaller streets, especially on Staten Island. As you guys have been driving through the neighborhoods there, have you seen any of these Holsters or any of these skid steers that they have been talking about?
We're actually on our way to a neighborhood now, Liz, where I'm expecting we're going to see that type of activity. But we'll show you the roads now. Actually, there's a sanitation truck here that is plowing in the left lane of the Staten Island Expressway. So the big guys are out, as you can see here, that we're about to pass here on the side of 278. You know, it's funny. Last year, when that big blizzard hit, you know, North Queens got a lot of attention for the huge problems in the small, very hilly neighborhoods there, Kew Gardens and Maspeth and neighborhoods like that, Astoria, and that's they bought those trucks that you were talking about, Liz. They spent a little bit more than $20 million to buy those trucks. They're like big pickup trucks, but they're also deploying them, as you say, here on Staten Island, where there are similar neighborhoods. According to the sanitation commissioner, as of maybe about 2 hours ago, they'd already been making pretty good progress, and we will let you know how they do when we see it for ourselves. But as you can see here, of course, the main roads, the Staten Island Expressway, is just wet. Having said that, the temperature continues to drop, so they are saying that you should stay off the roads, because obviously they haven't necessarily put down the salt that might protect it from refreezing. Once it's already wet, it's sort of hard to do that. So when it gets cold enough, it could get treacherous yet again out here.
So let me play dad for a second, Josh. 28 degrees. Tell your driver to slow down, get a little distance between there. And yes, clear off the ice from the bottom of the windshield there. That's the law and all that. And I know you know.
Yes.
I know you know.
Yes, caught.
That's it.
Caught. We gotta, you know what?
The whole world is watching.
We gotta do a better job of that. I know, the whole world is watching. So actually, maybe if you have a second, maybe I'll show you what we are doing here.
Okay.
I've got this little joystick.
Okay.
And so this is one of our trucks. It's a little bit different from the usual RoadCam 7 unit that we have, and I can sort of flip to this front camera. And what I can do actually is sort of, excuse me for a second here.
Clean the windshield too?
There's photographer John Lyles. There's photographer John Lyles, and here's a little light that you can't really see, and that's actually the camera that is showing what's out the window, but this camera is, I guess, only optimized to show me, so I'm going to put it back here. Okay. And that's what we got here in this little RoadCam 7 unit. It's really one of our Eyewitness News vans, and we're on our way now to see where we are headed next. So we will let you know when we see those trucks and other conditions in those small neighborhoods.
Good.
The all-important tertiary streets, the word we only break out in on days like this.
Of course, definitely. Okay. All right, we got to see all the toys that RoadCam 7 has. All right. Thanks so much, Josh Einiger and John Lyles on Staten Island. Mayor was saying earlier today that he felt pretty good about tomorrow morning's commute because of the fact that we got this snow in such a quick dumping that it was going to give the city enough time to clear away the streets throughout the afternoon while those temperatures continue to drop.
And you can't underestimate the fact that they very early on, at 6:32 last night, they put out the word schools would be closed. Yes. Once that happens, that's really the key. 1.1 million public school students, another 400,000 or so private school students. That just sets forth a whole domino effect because parents then have to make different child care arrangements. A lot of people don't go to work. It changes everything. Get that done early. People knew they were going to stay home and not be on the roads.
Right. And the mayor has already said, plan for school tomorrow.
He said that.
Plan for school tomorrow. It's not 100%, but he did say plan for school tomorrow.
Exactly.
So, kids, you heard it right there.
From the mayor himself, and he says, as a dad myself. Tim Fleischer continues our coverage. He's in Bayside, Queens, where last I saw you, Tim, it looks a little clearer now, a lot of flurries, but it was almost whiteout conditions when I saw you as I was getting ready to come on the air here earlier.
Yes, it was. I mean, it was sideways. That was the only way to put it. It was blowing like crazy. But it's picked up a little bit now, just as of late. I think I heard Lee even say that we were going to get or Jeff rather, that we were going to get a little blast coming down from southern Westchester, the Bronx, and into parts of Queens. So we're seeing some of that. I'm going to show you right now, though, the tough love of a snowstorm. And this is what happens. You got to clear some things out. You've got to shovel and you clear sidewalks and you push it out into the street. That is not a good thing, and it will cost you. It will cost you big time. We were talking to a plow operator before who did some of this. He came by the truck just a little while ago and showed me a $300 ticket. Now, that's not only for the private plow guys, but also the homeowner as well. If you push that stuff out into the street, especially into those tiny streets, and there are sanitation officers who patrol the city, and they will catch you. I guarantee it, they will catch you. And that's a $300 fine, and that goes for everybody. So do not push the snow out into the street. I know you're gonna say, well, Tim, you know, what do we do with it? Well, you got to find a way to put it someplace. On the front yard, I put it on top of your car, I don't care. It doesn't matter. But you cannot throw it out into the street. Now, the The sanitation department has been mobilizing out here all day long. Sometimes we've seen 3 trucks work in tandem, especially when they were starting to head up Bell Boulevard. You could see, we're not quite seeing the pavement right there, but they're going to hit these major arteries over and over and over again to try to get them cleared up and to try to get traffic movable and passable for rush hour tomorrow. Reporting live in Bayside, Tim Fleischer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Passable tomorrow, that's really the key. We're going to go back to New Jersey, where you're seeing that accident is still there in this picture. So that's what it's like in New Jersey. Another reason to get off the road. You see all those trucks off the side. I don't know why they're there, but maybe they're just heeding the warning
just taking
not
a
to
moment.
Travel. Yeah.
Exactly. And as Jeff Smith was saying earlier, that we're really starting to see the snow wind down in New York City points west. However, on Long Island, that's not necessarily the case, and that's where Kristen Thorne is. She is in Dix Hills for us. Yes. Kristen, how are things there? Still looking pretty bad there.
Yeah, Liz and Bill, it's still bad. I mean, I know I just heard Josh talking about blacktop. That's nice. We're not going to see that out here on Long Island for a very, very long time. I also want to bring everyone up to date. More than 22,000 power outages now on Long Island. We started this morning. See, there it goes, whipping up all that wind. We started this morning, I think, with maybe 100 or 19. I mean, it was low, and now we're up to 22,000. Most of those, more than half, out in Southold. Let's show you the LIEs. We've been showing you all morning, all afternoon here. Really, you're going to see some cars come here, but obviously we're seeing traffic pick up. See, here's someone not driving with their lights on. I know I've been talking about this all day, but I feel very strongly about it because I almost got in an accident with someone this morning who didn't have their lights on. These are whiteout conditions, people. If you need to go out, you have to turn your lights on your car, or people cannot see you coming. Anyway, back here at the LIE, here, you got the plows coming right on time. Look at that, a whole army of them, and we've been seeing them go up and down the roadways here. So they're trying to keep up. I know you're talking, I hear it, talking about it winding down in places this storm. It is not winding down here. It is still very, very strong, coming down strong. We know the governor is on his way out. He'll be speaking here at 2 o'clock. He's coming out just to give us an update what's going on here on Long Island. In terms of closing the LIE, I don't think that's really going to happen. I think that this is a manageable storm. I mean, you certainly don't want to go out if you don't have to, but we've seen worse. This is not the worst storm we've ever had. So we do expect the governor to give an update, though, on the highways and the roads coming up at 2 o'clock. For now, we're live in Dix Hills. I'm Kristen Thorne, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, you're talking about you being the mom about all this, keeping on your lights. It's the law. If you have your wipers on, you got to turn on your lights as well. Law in New York State, anyway, and it's a good law.
Yes, you got to turn your lights on. I was trying to make a left this morning, and a guy, I literally could not see him coming. He came out of nowhere, and we almost collided. Thankfully, we were going slowly, so we were able to stop. But that's why you need to keep your lights on so people see you coming. Again, if you don't have to leave the house, don't. But if you do, and look, we'll show you again here. There's a lot of people out here on the road. So look, we know people have to go to work. I get you. I understand. So if that's where you're going, that's okay. Just, we got people with their lights on. So I don't know, maybe they're listening.
Well, and your picture, Kristen, is showing us what our viewers already know, and that is Lee Goldberg and his team and Jeff Smith just a few minutes ago saying exactly where the storm is going.
Yep.
And Suffolk County, eastern end of Long Island, is going to get hit still with the hardest of it, apparently going till 5 o'clock tonight. And so, our AccuWeather team right on the numbers as well. Kristen Thorne out there in Dix Hills.
State of emergency still in effect there. And this is a live picture right now. This is right on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And as you can see, conditions here considerably better than they were just a few hours ago. With the worst of this storm, as AccuWeather and our team of meteorologists predicted, stopping around 1 o'clock this afternoon. And look at it right there. Not too bad out. And, as we have seen throughout this entire storm, the city has not shut down. People have been out. People have been out and about, walking and driving slowly, but, business as usual here in New York City.
I was out this morning early, and I left about 8:45, and there were very few people on the street, very few cars. And by the time I came in, around 11:45 or noon today, this is what we saw, just people on the street, people shoveling, obviously. Lee made a very big point yesterday of saying, make sure you get your driveways and your walkways and your sidewalks cleared and your steps, because it's going to freeze up, and that's what people are doing all over the city, shoveling while they can, especially, as predicted, this stuff is out of here, out of the 5 boroughs, at least most of the 5 boroughs, and moving towards the east and north, and people are taking advantage of that, and clearly a lot of cars in the street.
Yeah, and here in New York City, you have 2 or 3 hours to clear the snow from your stoop.
You know, I think it's 3 hours.
3 hours.
I'm going to check on that. I'll look
a
that
couple
up.
of hours to clear the snow from your stoop. And as Tim Fleischer told us, do not put that snow back into the street because then you could be fined $300. You need to remove the snow altogether, just like these guys are right here, right in front of our
Piling it
studio.
up. We have to have a clear walkway.
Yes.
And the problem there is going to be, when it freezes up, it's going to be very icy. So.
Yeah, and they're working hard.
All right. Let's go out to New Jersey. We have Anthony Johnson, New Jersey reporter Anthony Johnson, is in another road cam 7. He is in the Bergen County borough of Franklin Lakes on 287. And so that's where you were, looking at this accident. Tell us what happened there, AJ.
Okay, so we got multiple things happening here, Bill. You see the Franklin Lakes police car right in front of us to the right. That's blocking the entrance to 287 northbound because we understand we have 3 jackknife tractor trailers on 287 northbound, so it's going to be a while before the roadway is clear. Now, right in front of us, you see the county hazmat unit. That's backing up because we have a fuel spill right here at this location. There is a Western Express trailer right in front of us, and we understand that trailer had a fuel spill, and you can smell the diesel fuel out here on the roadway, so it's blocking up everything. 1 lane of traffic, but only going to southbound out here on 287. So you talked about all those tractor trailers that are lined up on the side of the road. Well, the reason they're lined up out there, those are all the tractor trailers that are waiting to go northbound on 287. As a matter of fact, a few moments ago, I was talking to one driver. He's trying to get up to Massachusetts. Now, you see the firefighter slowing people down. He's trying to get up to Massachusetts, that trucker was telling me. So he was looking for an alternate route. Basically, what I've told him to do, he basically has to pass by this zone of traffic, then make a U-turn, come back, go south on 208, get on Route 4, get on 17 north, and that way you can avoid this entire area. But everyone else is probably going to stay here. And I can tell you, if there are 3 jackknife tractor trailers up there, depending on the condition, we can't even get anywhere close because they're 3 miles away. It's going to be quite a while before northbound 287 is reopened. Now, you can see these emergency workers. They're out there doing the job. Temperatures are getting colder out there, but they're dealing with these conditions. And yes, you can see the blacktop on the road, but let's be honest, folks, as the temperatures drop, that blacktop will just turn to ice. So those road conditions will become even more treacherous as the afternoon goes on. So basically, that's what you're looking at out here at the scene. Those trucks keep backing up, pulling off to the side of the road. As a matter of fact, behind us, we have probably a couple of miles of tractor trailers just waiting to get on 287 north. But what it looks like here, it'll be at least an hour, maybe a couple of hours before they're able to proceed. So anybody coming in this direction, if you're out here driving, which we told you probably shouldn't do, but if you're out here driving in this direction, avoid this area because it won't be open for quite a while, and emergency crews are going to be out here on the scene for quite a long time. So that's what you're looking at in that picture right there.
What a mess.
A lot of activity and a lot of action.
Anthony, I apologize if you mentioned this, but why is that SUV blocking that off-ramp?
Okay, so that's what we were telling you. That's the Franklin Lakes Police Department making sure that nobody gets on 287 right here at this location. We just moved up to the front. You know, I'm with TC, so it didn't really matter how far back we were. We're going to make our way to the front.
Well, it's TC,
and
that's
you
why.
can see that right here. Yeah, so that's it. That's the reason why. And we made our way to the front where the officer said you can't go any further. He was very polite, very kind. But he said, I can't allow you to proceed any further because those emergency crews are up there trying to go ahead and get those jackknife tractor trailers righted at this point in time. So 287 could be open now. Bill, we had traveled on 287 about 2 hours ago.
I remember.
There was no one on the road at that point in time. And conditions were just barely passable at that point. So if they've traveled on the roads and those kinds of driving conditions, we can understand why there were jackknife tractor trailers. And anybody, if you've ever driven in this section of North Jersey, it is very hilly, so the road goes up and down, and all you need is one of them to lose control, and it can create quite a problem. And apparently it has this afternoon. Once again, 3 jackknife tractor trailers northbound 287. So that's why this Franklin Lakes police officer has the entrance ramp blocked off. And the same happens if you're going on the other direction trying to get on 287. So it's a mess all around this area.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony, how many tractor trailers are lined up on the other side of the highway there? Because it looks like it stretches all the way back.
We see about 4 or 5, AJ.
Yeah, it does. The number probably at this point in time when we passed it, it looked like it was dozens. So I'm assuming in the time that we've been here, maybe as many as 100 of them. Like I said, one of the drivers got out. He was talking to me for a little bit. He's trying to make his way up to Massachusetts. So I gave him my alternate route to try to get there. Hopefully he'll be able to find it because he just couldn't wait the 2 hours possibly right here at this stop to be able to go ahead. Now, we see that they're cleaning up where the fire engine is located. This is where the fuel spill was. So apparently they have cleaned that portion of this scene up. So they'll be opening where 208 goes to 287 southbound. This will be more open apparently in a few minutes, but the fuel smell is still very strong in this area. But that accident appears to be going away. Still, the problem here is going northbound on 287.
And we're looking at your windshield, and that looks like it's just wind-blown flurries that are coming from the trees and stuff. Not so much snow anymore, right?
Yeah, it's not like it was a few hours ago. The situation rapidly improved, and it was pretty much right on time with the weather forecast that we had. Starting around 12:30, it looked like 1 o'clock. Conditions out here rapidly improved, and they talked about it improving from west to east. So that's exactly what we see. I would estimate and guesstimate purely that they might have 6 to 8 inches of snow out here, but this is that slushy stuff. This is that icy stuff. This is the stuff we always tell you to use extra caution when out here driving. We didn't see a lot of traffic out here this morning, so the good thing was the crews, the road crews, able to do a yeoman job moving the snow off of the roadways, especially the major roadways. You're looking at 208 in front of us off to the left. That's down to the blacktop. They did a great job clearing that. They've actually done a great job on several other roadways. We were on Route 80. The situation out there, that's where we started to see it get to the blacktop. Much improved, but you can still see that in certain areas there's a lot of slippery roadways. And once again, you see those tractor trailers still coming up, lining up, trying to figure out another way to get around this incident out here on 287.
And the fire truck, while you were talking, did finish the cleanup there for that fuel spill and move ahead. But a quadrangle, geographically speaking, of problems on those highways as they interchange and interconnect. Anthony Johnson, our New Jersey reporter, on 287 in Franklin Lakes in Bergen County. AJ, thank you very much for that. Well, we talked a little bit about the sweeping rules in New York City. If we can, Andy, if we can show a shot on the Upper West Side where these guys are still sweeping up outside and they've cleared the sidewalk in front of the ABC studios. And the rules are kind of complicated, but basically you have between whatever the timing of the snowfall stops, depending between 4 and 14 hours. If it's during the day, you have 4 hours. Later at night, you have 14 hours to clean your sidewalks, the public sidewalks, so that people don't slip and fall and get lost in all that slipperiness. 4 hours during the day, basically, 14 hours if it's overnight. Those are the rules. You can Google that. I just Googled how much time do we have to sweep the sidewalks for snow in New York City.
Right, and we wanted to clarify that for you. All right, from Manhattan, we're going to head out to Long Island now, and Stacey Sager. And Stacey, before we talk to you, I do just want to say, oh, wow, that power outages were a real problem, primarily in Suffolk County. There were about 22,000 power outages. But now there are about 6,000 power outages, so that is an improving situation. However, it does not appear that the conditions there are improving all that much.
No, conditions are definitely not rapidly improving here in Nassau County. In fact, the wind was gusting a short time ago while we were standing by, and I kind of had to plant my feet down into the ground here. You can see the accumulation here. We are on South Oyster Bay Road and Old Country Road here in Plainview, where we are definitely seeing cars out and about, of course, not in large numbers. A lot of trucks, just people doing their jobs today. The nice bus line here in Nassau County, we've seen a number of nice buses, and unfortunately we've also seen a few people clowning around out here. We saw somebody, skidding their car basically on purpose out here on South Oyster Bay Road a short while ago, which is something, of course, you don't want to do. We had some varying numbers of power outages, many of them on the North Fork of Long Island. And as to be expected, the number of car accidents is steadily increasing because as the day has gone on and more people have decided to get out here on the roads, you can see most people here, have four-wheel drive, fortunately for them. But the day started out with about 9 car accidents. Now it's up to 45 car accidents. So in Nassau County alone, so you can see that obviously it's a situation. The county executive has urged people to call the county's non-emergency number if they're having issues in their community, things like downed trees or power problems. Try to keep the 911 lines open for emergency vehicles. Also, of course, trying to stay off the road to keep it available to ambulances. And yes, we saw one of those go by as well. We do not see blacktop out here. You heard Kristen Thorne mention that Governor Cuomo is coming out shortly to Long Island, and he will be assessing the situation. The Long Island Expressway remains open at this point. But, there were several multi-car accidents earlier and portions of it were closed down. So if you don't have to get on the Long Island Expressway, you should just stay off the roads entirely. We know the temperature is dropping because the snow doesn't feel soft anymore when it whacks into your face. So it's blowing sideways. It's still snowing quite hard out here. So this storm is really far from over in Nassau County, and we would advise people just to stay inside. It's definitely worse than it was even an hour ago.
Stacey Sager, where it is in fact still blowing, and we expect it to blow for a while. Nassau County, Suffolk County still getting the worst of it. Not that many miles away from where you are, very different scene. Lots of blacktop in Queens at LaGuardia Airport. Flights are still canceled, and it's going to be a real mess. One interesting thing here. Yes. A lot of participants and artists who live in New York going to the Grammy Awards this weekend. They're supposed to fly out tomorrow.
Oh.
Will they be able to get out?
Very good point.
3,000 flights or something cancel, whatever it's been.
Nationwide, yeah.
Nationwide, and hundreds and hundreds in our area. Look at that.
And I believe there's still a ground stop at JFK. Right. They had started that a couple of hours ago, primarily because of all the winds and everything like that. So, flights are not going anywhere right now.
Anyway, whether it's ground stop or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Jeff Smith. And Jeff, you guys called it. You said things are going to be lightening up around 1 o'clock here in the city, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I just saw Lee Goldberg. He said this storm is staying within its lane. I mean, this storm is really behaving well. 27 right now in New York City. The snow beginning to taper off again from west to east gradually across the area. But you just saw Stacey Sager getting pummeled on parts of Long Island. You saw Kristen Thorne earlier getting pummeled in Suffolk County, and those areas will continue to get hit hard during the next several hours, and blizzard conditions, in fact, will continue there probably through about 5 or 6 p.m. with localized whiteouts. 8 to 12 inches. Generally across the area, much of this has already fallen from New York City and points west. You still have a few more inches to go over parts of Long Island, especially the eastern half of Long Island, and that will put your totals over a foot, maybe well over a foot in some cases. Check out the winds really kicking up now. Gusting up near 30 miles per hour in the city, but then you head out onto the island, 46 miles per hour at Islip, 47 miles per hour at Montauk. If you get winds gusting up and over 35 miles per hour for 3 consecutive hours, along with heavy snow, guess what that's called? That's called a blizzard. And we have a blizzard warning in effect, Suffolk County, Nassau County, right through 6 p.m. It's a winter storm warning for the rest of the area. Even as the snowfall intensity tapers off over Long Island as we head into the mid and late afternoon, the snow will just continue blowing and drifting like crazy out there, with that wind continuing to gust up to 40 and 50 miles per hour at times. Here's that radar picture. And just when we thought the back edge of the snow was kind of racing in toward New York City, it filled in a little bit. You heard Tim Fleischer in Bayside, Queens, talking about the snowfall ramping up a little bit in intensity. So yes, there could be a coating to an inch or so in this area right across the 5 boroughs, down through parts of the Jersey Shore. But the back edge is over Morris County right now, and it's gradually working its way off to the east. Different story over, again, Long Island. You have to get through all this snow that we're getting over New York City. That's going to move over Long Island during the next several hours, and it'll probably intensify a bit as it does so. Here are some of the snowfall reports we've had so far, some of the latest ones. This as of 12:45 p.m. Comac, a foot of snow. Check this out, Plainview. That's where Stacey Sager was, a foot of snow there. So easily surpassing a foot over much of Long Island. Central Park finally checking in with an official observation, 9 inches at the Conservancy. LaGuardia Airport getting 9.5. One thing that's interesting about LaGuardia, earlier they had 3 inches of snow 1 hour. So the intensity of this storm cannot be overestimated. Newark Airport, 7.7 inches of snow. Fairfield, Connecticut, 11.5 inches. So that really heavy band extended into parts of coastal Connecticut as well. It continues to snow there. Here's our futurecast. 3 p.m. You see the last flakes kind of right over New York City by that point. Still getting some steady to heavy snow over parts of Long Island. By 6 p.m. it really starts winding down even over the island. But the wind will continue. And look at temperatures overnight. Dropping into the teens. That means, the chemicals that treat the roadways have a tough time working with temperatures that low. So there'll be icy spots all over the place overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. Here's our futurecast. Winds remain strong over the island right through the afternoon. That's why we still have that blizzard warning in effect. That will lower visibilities down to 1/8 of a mile, down to near zero at times. And then overnight tonight, the wind tapers off a little bit, but still pretty gusty right through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, gusting over 20 miles per hour on the island. So to sum it up for you, snow gradually tapering off from west to east, but blizzard conditions over eastern Long Island continuing through about 5 or 6 p.m. Again, that widespread 8 to 12 inches, but easily over a foot in some areas north and east of New York City, especially over Suffolk County. Stay off the roads. It's going to be bad out there the farther east that you head. Bill, Liz?